Ben, again, another collection. We got tons and tons of records here. He's already holding something that I'm very interested in. All right, man, let's take a look at these records. All right, here we go. I'm going to flip through this kind of smaller stack that I picked out. I think there's some pretty serious stuff in here. So, Ravi Shankar, Ali Akbar Khan, that's very cool. Alice Coltrane. Oh, it's so serious. Alice Coltrane. Yeah. We're getting into the Pharoah Sanders world here. Unity, Black Unity. Pharoah Sanders, Deaf, Dumb, and Blind. Very cool. Love will find a way. Pharoah Sanders. Live at the East. Very cool. Check this out. That is really cool. Nina Simone, 1974. Yeah, very, very cool. Check out the back. We, of course, all know this record. Really cool. Somebody signed it. Some very cool staple singers. Very nice. Check that out. Space is the place. Very cool. Look at this.
Original shrink.
In the shrink. Oh man, that is really, that is super neat, man. Look at that. It's fantastic. Astro Black. Come on. There he is. The Night of the Purple Moon. Sun Ra. Look at this beautiful, beautiful Sun Ra here. Art Forms of Dimensions Tomorrow. Wow. Eddie Harris. Archie Shepp on Impulse. More Archie Shepp. Black Gypsy. Cool record. Yusuf Lateef. Nice. Ahmad Jamal. Don't see that one so much. Nice. Malcolm X. Joe Henderson. Black is the color. Very cool. Look at that. Roland Kirk. More Roland Kirk. Couple copies of this cool Keith Jarrett record. Very cool. Jungle Fever. I thought this was cool just because it is looks like a white label promo. Cannonball. Benny Maupin. Cool cover. I didn't know what this was, but I stuck it in the stack just because it has this radio timing strip on the front. An Eric Dolphy twofer. Can't go wrong with that. Milt Jackson Sunflower. One of the CTI heaters. Joe Farrell. Outback. Another one. And last but not least, Chick Corea. Now he sings. Now he sobs. On Solid State. Thank you very much. Ben, thanks for showing me these records. So there were a lot of records in the collection, and I just went through all of the records and picked out some of the stuff that I was interested in, a lot of the jazz ultimately, but there was a lot of R&B and soul music as well. You know, Ben bought the entire collection because he owns a record store, but I wanted to see the jazz in particular. Now this individual, which the name Barbara is on a few of the records. That doesn't mean anything. The person that owned this big collection could have just bought these records secondhand. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to call it the Barbara Collection. Barbara's records had sort of a spiritual jazz kind of slant to it with the Sun Ra and the Pharoah Sanders and Alice Coltrane, Nina Simone, etc., etc., right? These are the records I chose. Now, the records had been stored in like a garage or something like that, so they were all kind of dirty. There was some pretty heavy ring wear on some of the records, and the covers really needed to be cleaned up. That said, those Sun Ra records, I think in the hands of somebody like me, I could have made those records incredibly presentable, cleaned up the disc, and really made them nice. And somebody will. I didn't want to come off that kind of cash right now. That said, I picked 3 records. The first one, Ravi and Ali Akbar Khan. It's a little concert. I got turned on to Ali Akbar Khan through Derek Trox. Derek always referencing Ali Akbar Khan. So, whenever I see his stuff, I tend to snatch it. It's on that Apple label. Everybody knows that Ravi and the guys in the Beatles were super tight. So, yeah, this one's on Apple. Definitely grab it. I paid $20 a piece for these records. I chose the records based on what I needed in my collection and the condition of the disc. So, that brings us to this. Pharoah Sanders, Black Unity. I've passed on this record multiple times. It's usually between $25 to $35. So I felt like it was a pretty good deal because the disc is ultra clean. It's just that the cover has quite a bit of ring wear on it. Typical Pharoah Sanders stuff on the Impulse label. And last but not least, I chose this one because I never see it. It is finished Nina Simone 1974. Check out this cover. Really, really cool. And of course, on possibly my favorite label, RCA Victor, on the Dynaflex disc. Everything on Dynaflex is pretty much a heater. This is ultra clean, very high fidelity sounding record. I had to have this. Really cool. You know, I've got a lot of Nina Simone right now, and that's fine. I'm good with it. And here's one more. Yes, I would have loved to have had the Sun Ra stuff, but you know how it goes. Those are going to be fairly expensive, and if they were any cleaner, they would have been even more expensive. So, yeah, they would have been nice pieces for my collection. I have a lot of Raw stuff. It would have been nice to have those in there as well. On Toth, by the way. Yeah. But, yeah. I figured some real fanatic Sun Ra fan needs to have those. So, really cool collection. Thank you, Ben, at Better Days Records, for showing me the collection before anyone else. Cheers, and until we meet again, Bob out.